Did you ever think, all those years ago, when you took me on a really fabulous date to IKEA in a van on one of your random cruddy jobs you used to work on, that 17 years later, we'd be working together?
Right, well, there's a couple of things there, isn't there? That job wasn't cruddy at the time. I did take you to IKEA on a date. And
Within our first month.
Within our first month. And, it wasn't a date. I was doing some work. I didn't work for IKEA. I was working for someone else who was doing sports and social. And I was running a sports and social event to IKEA. To IKEA. It sounds worse. Fun. And I said, Emily, do you want to come along? Because, early days, we wanted to hang out. Look, this is really tricky. Answer this. Because,
no, it's not tricky.
No, it is tricky because the answer is possibly yes, but obviously we need the answer to be no. That's the point of this video. So no, I never envisaged us working together because there were times when I genuinely wanted to kill you. Still do. And I'm sure it's both ways.
Daily.
But that IKEA trip was quite an early indicator that actually things were going to be okay for our life. Perhaps that's a better way of putting it.
I knew that I was a keeper at that point when you said that you really appreciated, because this is back before we had sat navs.
I thought, do you know what? When you started with the S then, I thought you were about to say something else, which we don't go, before we had sat nav. Yeah.
Sat nav. That I had really good map reading skills, and you appreciated that. I mean, actually, she's quite organised and she can read a map, so therefore she's going to be my future wife.
Now, I feel we need to add another layer to our story here. That's the benefit of going out with someone who you meet at Scouts. Now, we weren't 8-year-old Scouts. We were both well over the age of 18 at the time. But when you go out with someone with Scouts, generally they come with things like map reading skills. It's a great place for finding someone with life skills. But so no, the answer's no. The answer's no. But there were definitely some crazy, amazing positives there from the early days.
Now, I only asked that because we've been having this chat a lot recently about husbands and wives working together. And I talk about the fact that we're a husband and wife a lot too, in networking calls and things like that. People ask our story and why we're... And the question is always...
the very first thing, isn't it? The very first thing.
I don't think I could work with my husband, wife, spouse, whatever you want to call it. I couldn't do it. I think I'd kill them. How do you do it? And that's the question we get probably asked the most.
Yes. Now, I have to say, we know, and it's one of those, we do know, but we have to think about it. We know a lot of couples in business. We know a lot of couples in business. Let's reel off a few of the fab ones. We know, obviously, you've got people like James and Kelly.
West
from Only Network. If we name check them, we can tag them in the video.
I know,
right? We got Kathy and Wayne from Green Zebra. We've got Tiger Ink Team. We've got, who else can I think of?
I'm just going to let you squirm.
No, I know, I am squirming. Who's the couple from Christchurch? Why can't I think of their business? We know
Bridge Health and Wellbeing. Bridge Health and Wellbeing.
We love you, Bridge Health. I just couldn't think of the company name for a minute.
The business allotment, you all work with your spouses, and currently I don't think anyone's committed murder yet.
No. And now one of the things a lot of other people say is, we'll get to what we think is the number one reason we don't kill each other in due course. But let's kind of gloss around the sort of coachy type answers about clearly defined roles and things like that. But we'll get to what we think's number one eventually. But part of it is we don't have clearly defined roles, do we?
But we do have clearly defined goals.
Yeah, that's the bit I said I was coming to in due course. But I was saving that for the cliffhanger.
We don't have clearly defined roles, but we do have clearly defined goals.
Yeah.
Roles, no, we don't. And that's actually worked in our benefit. And although some people might say it's probably best to have very clear, you
roles.
Do that, you do this, we don't actually believe in that, because I think there's so much flex in what we do, and the flex with the family and the kids and our personal adventures, our joint adventures, that not having clearly defined roles works in our favour because we can flex it.
That is true. But there are things that you do and I don't do and vice versa. So although we don't have clearly defined roles, we do find ourselves naturally doing certain things. So like Emily delivers 99% of our sessions with clients, our kind of one-on-one sessions. Outsource work, the little bit of outsource work we have is kind of split between us. I focus a lot more on some of our kind of emails and YouTube content and the editing and things like that. but we don't see it as I'm content creator
No.
and Emily's deliverer. It's kind of depends
I
what it is.
wouldn't say you're necessarily content creator, but you like stuff with a clear process. That fits you.
Well, it's not process necessarily. It's a very distinct start, middle, and end.
Yes, and when you are like editing a video like the one you're watching right now,
Hello.
We have the creative kind of conversation, we have the filming of that, but then you have that task of I'm editing, I'm uploading, I'm SEOing the hell out of it, I'm going to publish it to.
Sorry, can we not say SEOing the hell out? Let's do that in a nicer. We're optimizing the video for maximum reach.
That's what we're doing. That's exactly what we're
SEOing
doing.
the hell out of it.
And try.
Actually, because we don't SEO, that sounds black hat, doesn't it? And we don't SEO. the hell
No,
out of
we're
it.
not black hatting. We are optimizing it for future growth. There we go. But you
See this video where we talk about that. If I remember, it should be there.
But you like that because you have a start, middle, and end of. That's a process that you like to go through. As I am more of I make a list of things that I'll get through in my day and do it in whatever order.
Yeah, well, I make a list. The other thing about me is actually I'm not very good. So I can think outside the box, but I'm not very good at creating the box. So things like emails and videos per se, I find easy or simpler because I don't need to create the box, if that makes sense. I just need to adjust the video to be a video. Whereas if I was starting from scratch, like actually some of the client one-to-one stuff where there isn't necessarily a box. Perhaps this is semantics in my head. In my head, this makes perfect. Who knows? Anyway, we're talking about husband and wife teams, not about how we work. So yes, we have stuff we do, but we don't have clearly defined roles.
One other thing I think we don't do, and I think I don't know if we should do, is that we don't have, we kind of do blur our boundaries, don't we, between work life, personal life. And we do we're in this house, we work from home, we run the business.
Washing's right there. It's literally right
it's
there.
right there. We run the house, we run our business, we run the kids, we go to bed at the same. We are together all day, every day. But actually, I don't think it doesn't become a stress that we're in each other's pockets all the time. We have got that kind of nailed.
Oh, are you segueing? Was this a really clever segue to the kind of final point?
Yes.
Yes. Well, yeah,
I'm not that clever, but if I did, that's exactly yes.
Well, but this gets us to, we've made notes today. This gets us to our final kind of why it can work as a husband and wife or couple in business, 2023, couple in business, right? And that is clearly, which Emily's already actually said, but we're going to say again, is what, Emily?
We don't have defined roles. We have very clearly defined goals.
Exactly that. So we know what we're trying to achieve. So it's really simple. Like if we're having an argument, and we do argue, you don't.
A lot.
Yeah. Well, I don't think a lot actually.
I'm gonna have one right now. A lot.
I don't think a lot. Because it's easy to go, well, is this what's going to achieve our goal, the simplest, quickest, easiest, most efficient? And actually, that's the answer. It really does feel like that. And one of the ways we can explain it, and massively generalizing here, right? But let's say you have a couple, I'm so 2023, you have a couple, both in employment, and they're basically polling slightly against each other to achieve whatever they're trying to achieve in their employment. Yes, they're contributing to the central place, but fundamentally they're trying to appease their boss, their goals, their targets, whatever else. Then they go on holiday and it's a combined goal and they go, oh, this holiday feels great. It's a holiday, right? It feels great. But fundamentally it's an aligned goal. Perhaps like why moving house and potentially having children and things like that feel good because it's an aligned goal. Whereas day to day when you're employed at left and right is pulling against each other. The second we've committed to each other, and I feel the vast majority of couples in business would agree with this, and we know that because we speak to them about it, you have an aligned goal. So you're in an aligned goal all day, every day. And then
World domination.
yeah.
Well, yeah, that, and I also reckon it's because I married a Virgo. I'm Cancerian, married a Virgo. The stars were aligned. It just works.
I don't know what that means, but yes, whatever you
Ask
say.
your mum.
Ask your mum. Mum, can you explain the star signs to me, please?
We're a good
Shirley, are you
match.
watching? Mum doesn't watch our content. She finds it boring and doesn't understand it. Don't blame her, really.
If you watched this far, anyone else, thank you very much.
Yeah, if you watch this far and you think my mum should watch it, then let me know. In the comments, say, Alan, your mum needs to watch it, and I'll make a point in getting her to watch it. And no other questions today. Should we just leave it there?
No, but if you leave a comment, Do a little thumbs
Well,
up.
no, it's easy, isn't it? If you're a couple in business, I can't believe we were glossing over it. If you're a couple in business, let us know in the comments. If you're not a couple in business and you think you would destroy or kill your other half, write that in the comments as well. We'd love to hear from all sides.
Yeah, don't let us know how you would kill them in terms of you're working.
Well, I presume YouTube would block that for
Maybe.
being graphic. Try write something graphic, death scene and see what they do. I'd be keen to know.
So to conclude, I love working with my husband.
Yeah, we have been in the midst of about a 2-day argument-ish, but not directly at each other because life's been full on. But there we go.
It's called passion.
Passion. As we say that about the kids when they're being
Passionate.
Right, should we stop? Bye.